How many chickens can you cram into a hole before the game crashes? Well, today we're going to be finding that out. And I think the easiest way to do this would probably be to just get some observers and a dispenser and just fill a hole with a bunch of chickens. You know, that's the whole point of the video, so that would make sense. I'll also patch up the corners because I feel like they're going to find a way to glitch out. And then I need to figure out how to fill up this dispenser, which should be pretty easy with some hoppers leading from like a chest or something. Okay, hopefully that's enough chests. I mean, I'll fill it up more if I need to, but that should be fine. And now we just need to get a lot of chicken spawn eggs. Alright, there's this like control pick block thing that you can do, but I have no clue how to do it. So, there we go. Cool, now this should start filling up with chickens, and my game should start lagging. Okay, now all of the chests are filled up with chickens, so now I guess I just gotta let this run and see how laggy it gets. Also, just a side note, I do have a lot of performance mods enabled on this, so I don't know how long this will take. It might take a lot longer because there are so many performance mods, but I guess we'll see. Okay, we're closing in on 600 chickens and it's still barely even lagging. I'm getting around 150 to 180 FPS, depending on whether I'm looking at the chickens or not. I'll also do a little comparison in a bit with entity culling and without entity culling. That's the performance mod that stops this game from being so laggy. I also should have probably put a hopper beneath the chickens so we can see how many eggs they've made, so I should probably do that now. Well, that was a mistake. Alright, take two. This time, I'm a little bit more prepared. So, I have a little storage system set up so we can see how many eggs however many chickens I get really make. So let's wait and see. Alright, we've just passed 200 chickens and I've expanded the storage system a bit so we can see how many eggs there are, and I guess I'll see you when the game starts to lag. Okay, we're up to 650 chickens and my game still isn't even lagging. I'm getting 150 plus FPS. Okay, we've just passed 1,000 entities and my frames have dropped a little bit. Now I'm getting like just under 100. But for some weird reason, the chickens have only laid like one egg, which does not seem right, so I guess we'll wait a bit more and see what happens. I also added this little glass box here so we can see how weird the chickens look, and they almost make this like circle pattern. It's really cool. Okay, it has been a whole day. I started this in the morning, and the chickens still aren't lagging out my game. This really needs to pick up the pace. Okay, to try and speed up the process, I've added another dispenser now, so I've got 2 dispensers, but to be honest, I don't know how long this is gonna take. Finally, my frames are dropping to around 60. It only took like 3 dispensers and nearly 2,000 entities. But hey, at least I have a few eggs now. You know what, I should have thought of this a long time ago. If I just turn up the tick rate, then it'll go like twice as fast. Or 4 times as fast. Alright, I think that's working, but it's also causing a little bit more lag. So, I guess we'll see. Okay, we passed 2,000 entities. And just getting 60 FPS now, which is still perfectly playable. To be honest, I thought I'd need a whole lot more chests to hold all the eggs I'm getting, but I guess I really don't. Hasn't even filled up a single double chest with like 2,000 chickens. I think it's probably time to set the tick rate back to normal, because if you look at the entity counter on the left, it just randomly starts ticking up and then down really inconsistent speeds, so I might just slow it down a bit to see if that can stop the glitchiness. See, this is another problem I knew was gonna happen. Since it's so laggy and there are so many entities that need to be rendered, the observer clocks are actually slowing down, which means we're spawning less chickens per second. And that means the game might freeze before it crashes. Okay, whatever, I'm getting bored. I'm just gonna set this to an absurdly high number. And it turns out that that did absolutely nothing. Yay. My frames have been sitting around 50 to 60 for the past like 5 minutes. But hey, at least the entities are like nearly 2,500. You can see how slowly the chickens are falling down when they spawn. It's honestly kind of funny. Now I wonder what would happen if I tried to teleport all these chickens somewhere. Okay, since I don't want them all to escape, I'm just going to teleport them like a little bit higher in the hole. Alright, I'm going to teleport all the chickens to me. Bang. Okay, well, after it's crashed, I've booted it up again, and it just seems to be running normally. In fact, there's only 1,300 entities, so it really did not save a lot. Okay, well, this is boring, so let's see how this works without the entity culling mod. We can just switch it off right there. Now, I do have some other performance mods, like sodium and ferrite core, but that shouldn't matter too much. It still should crash a hell of a lot faster, so let's try it. Okay, new world. Up in the game rules. Change this to whatever that is. And then let's go. Alright, we're in. Let's find a little safe space to do this. Alright, this spot looks good enough, so let's start building it. Alright, this is our new and improved design. Hopefully none of the chickens can like phase through the walls or anything. But this time we've got a lot more dispensers, because last time was, to be honest, really slow. And then we've got a bunch of storage, which I will not need, because I don't think I even went through like 2 double chests of chicken eggs last time, but it's fine. Now all I should need to do is fill up these hoppers and chests with a bunch of chicken spawn eggs and see how it goes. Okay, the dispensers are filling up, so I think it's probably about time to get the observers going and start spawning chickens. Alright, all of the dispensers are firing, and I'm already getting a few frame drops, which is concerning. But yeah, still chilling at 150 FPS. Oh, 120. We've only got, what, 400 chickens? Which is way faster than the last design. Okay, that's 1,500 chickens, and you can see the spawning is already slowing down. Okay, we're nearly at 2,000 chickens, and my frames aren't even doing that bad. In fact, they're higher than they were a few minutes ago. I've got this little frame counter in the bottom right, and it says that my GPU and CPU are hardly even being used. And same as my memory, which means the game must be pretty well optimized, or that might just be sodium. Well, that was disappointing. I'm not going to try teleporting them or anything, because I don't want my PC to crash again, but I'll stop it for now and I guess see what it looks like. Well, that is just a mess. Anyway, bye. Subscribe.